Всем привет, друзья, с вами снова Анастасия, и мы продолжаем Шерлока Холмса. У нас продолжается расследование убийства на Эбби Грейндж. Мы с вами расследуем убийство Юстаса, мужа, мадам, как ее там, не помню. Не зацикливаюсь на именах, фамилиях, хотя это наверняка важно, но не особо для меня это важно. Для меня важно сам процесс, само расследование. Ну, собственно, леди Брэкенстол, поэтому вот. Собственно, имени-то нету. Возможно... Ой, господи. Так, значит, что мы с вами остановились-то? На чем? Мы исследовали труп, исследовали... надо анализ провести. Забрать Тоби с Бейкер-стрит и пройти по следу взломщиков. Да, серьезно? Ха-ха! Мы сейчас с барабакой пойдем. Ладно. Ну, тогда вот так. Поедем, красотка, кататься. Будем разбираться, что произошло. Интересно, найдет ли след Тоби. Но для начала я все-таки думаю, что нам стоит провести для начала анализ. Так.
The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to be different. The fibers from this cut appear to be different. If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original.
Шнур отрезали острым ножом. Понятно. Ну, отлично. Значит, что? Что? Надо взять Тоби. Тоби, поехали.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire.
Ты такой хороший пес.
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts. I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is
Someone should take Toby for a walk.
Мы взяли пса, интересно, нет? Ой, бозочки, какая бабабака. Классная.
Search, Toby.
А мы что, за барабаку теперь играем? Круто! Ой, обалдеть. Подожди. Подожди-ка, подожди. Пути-пузочки бежит-то как. Смешная барабака. Угу.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
Это очень прикольно. Играть за барабаку очень прикольно.
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
Явно перелезли через ограду. Вот эту. Через стену перелезли потом.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
Не знаю, не знаю.
Brave Toby, the best nose in the British Empire.
Так, ну и что теперь? Что, мы полезем через ограду? Нет? Нет, подождите, нам рано. Наверное, уходить. Может, стоит поговорить с Лестрейнджем? Подожди. Где ты есть? Офицер.
Holmes, don't look at me like that. I don't know what to think about all this.
Ёбана в рот. Может быть, с мадам поговорить?
Oh, what a horrible
Нет.
thing to have happened.
Понятно. Понятно, ладно, то значит нам нужно осмотреть все. Хорошо. Пойдем осмотрим. Для начала посмотрим, что у нас тут поблизости. Нет, он сначала нас привел к саду. Пошли к сараю к этому. Осмотрим для начала сарай.
This hook might be useful.
Опа, крюк пригодится может.
Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
Потом они отправились к колодцу.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
О, ни хрена себе. Как все просто.
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence. The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears
Заебись. По-любому это все сговор. Это все сговор. Она устала от его пьянки, насильственных действий и, видать, наняла этих 3 чуваков, чтобы они создали вот, типа что. Мы такие-сякие, мы тебя убьем, Юстас. Да нет, не оставили бы. Ну не оставили бы они. Ну вот, я ж говорю. Вот. Во, смотри-ка. Зашибись. Мгм. Так. А как же нам это сделать? Как нам это сделать? Как, куда идти? Так, подожди. Сейчас мы, блядь, тебе скажем. Ну что же, леди, раскусывайся.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship? We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
А, и все? Весь диалог? Странно.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Но я не верю в то, что это все. Это все, короче, сделано спецом. Вот. Надо отвезти Тоби домой. Он молодец. Он крутой. Крутой пёсель. Молодчик, умничка, хороший пёсик. Да, Габа? У меня тоже пёсель вон валяется. Я про этого пёселя говорю. Собака-барабака моя такая, голову поднимает, типа, чё? Так, Ватсон, тише в пассатиже.
What should we do next, Holmes?
Посмотрим.
This is where I
Нет.
keep my...
Вот. Смотри-ка. Вот. 1893. Листаем. 1893. Вот. Вот оно. По-моему, вот это. Прибытие Гибралтарской скалы. Корабль вернулся. Гибралтарская скала. Сухогруз компании линия Аделаида, Саутгемптон, Лондон. Коннорд-центр, Джеймс-стрит, Лондон. Вернулся после 6-месячного плавания с заходом в порты Индии, Новой Зеландии, Австралии. На корабле в Англию прибыла мисс Мэри Фрейзер, наследница семьи Фрейзеров, землевладельцев из Австралии. Эта очаровательная юная леди уже объявила о помолвке с сэром Юстасом Брэкенстолом, одним из богатейших людей Кента. Ага, Мэри Фрейзер, она, значит, наследница семьи Фрейзеров. Так она сама в золоте купается, у нее фамилия богатая.
Here it is.
Вот так вот, да. Угу. Ага, ха-ха, сучка.
The shipping
Вон о
company,
чё.
the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
Да, пацаны, братва.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893, and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
3 часа спустя. Нихера себе. Молодцы, чуваки,
Here it is,
давайте.
Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Бля, пацаны рулят. А чё ты тут стоишь?
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th.
Подожди. Седьмое ноября 94-го.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which this.
Ну, здесь... А чё он не отмечается? Ну, Джек Кроукер. Есть Джек Кроукер.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor.
Да хер его знает.
Captain Jack
Больше времени
Crocker
потрачу.
is our mysterious visitor.
Ну,
He
Джек
was the
Кроукер, ну
only
я
one
же
around at the time
сказал,
of the
что
murder.
Джек Кроукер. Ах. Ну, Джек Кроукер. Вот этот.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
Да, мы боксеры, мы ему наваляем. Мы ему ебальник-то начистим. Только так, только в путь. Лететь будет, пердеть и радоваться. Мы же
Mr.
боксеры.
Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Давай сначала составим твой портрет. А вот и морской нож у него есть.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her from when I was first officer, but I still don't see.
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You... and what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London right now. Your theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Shark. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night.
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No, there is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand why you dissected the bell rope.
А то еще гоняться за нами будет.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Сейчас, походу, махач будет. Мне почему-то так и кажется.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know, because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailors' knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is ignorant.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear. And it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
Ух, какой бравый. О, точно. Не-не-не-не-не-не-не. Ой, бляха, муха. Он хотел покончить с собой? Ой, придурок.
You should have let me die. How can I live if Mary suffers?
I am sorry, Captain Crocker, but there has been quite enough death in this case.
Это точно.
Inspector, I give you Sir Eustace's killer. He tried his best to perform his own justice.
Well, I'm not surprised. Yes, it was me. I confess.
Here is a piece of evidence that can be used in court.
Perfect. A case that went smoothly for once.
Вот так. О, круто. Новое дело. Драма в Кью Гарденс. Послушаем историю и, наверное, остановимся на этом деле.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
Ой, сразу куда-то ехать надо? Нет. Давайте с вами остановимся на этом. Спасибо за просмотр, за лайк, за комментарий. Увидимся в следующей серии. Пойдем дальше по пути. Расследовать, что же произошло. Всем спасибо. Всем пока.